Hello everybody, my name is Michael, and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. We're really winding down with the game now that the DLC is over, and we are still here in Darkroot Basin. Let us head up here. This is the giant waterfall, and we don't really need to come this way since we purchased the Crest of Artorias, but I just want to show you this this other way to enter the boss fight with Sif, the Great Wolf Sif. If we come up here, don't try to climb this by sneaking by the Hydra. It doesn't really work. You have to kill the Hydra, but the Hydra is not extraordinarily difficult if you know what you're doing. And come up the tallest ladder in the world. Laddersmith of Gilligan would be proud of this. And we also get to see a unique enemy in this area that we don't get to see anywhere else. It is also a bizarre and I would think quite unfair enemy that that we're just gonna cheese. We're not gonna. We're honestly not. We're just not gonna take it too seriously. And remember what we did in previous episodes in the DLC, where we fought Manus, the Hands of the Abyss. I mean, the Hands of Fate. I mean, Manus, the primeval human. Going down that route over there, where that light is, directly in front of me, that just leads to the regular basin where the hunters are and where Alvina is. But down here, this is where, towards the fight with Sif. Safe zone, here. And we're going to fight gigantic cats, exactly like Alvina, except these are feral, and these will hurt us if we head over there. And they can roll. It's quite ridiculous. Take a look at this here. Oh, there's a mushroom guy over here. That's kind of bizarre. And for some reason, they can't spawn. I mean, they can't go past this point. This one little thing is like their aggro range. Most of the enemies in the game have a sort of a limit of how far they can go. And they've reached theirs. Actually, I don't know if these guys respawn. I don't know if I've ever come back to check that. There are, I believe, 2 more of them. They are very, very tough to fight in regular combat because of their rolling ability. Like the bone wheel skeletons, just eats away the durability of your shield. Let's just see here. And if you don't feel like even getting that close at all, like you see how tough these guys are, just nail them with a bow. And fighting more than one at a time, not advised. I think I have been able to fight them successfully when I came here with a great shield. But that's because it had amazing stability. Without that great shield, you know, it's kind of shit. And the reason that we have not done this yet is because of our fight with Manus. If you go at any other point in the game, and you can defeat Sif very, very quickly from the start of the game, I mean, almost right away, we can just immediately start fighting Sif. If you come here, defeat the Hydra very early on, we'll get the Crest of Artorias with 20,000 souls from the Bell Gargoyles and the Moonlight Butterfly. Very, very quickly can you come down here and kill Sif. The reason we didn't come down here is because of that special little instance that we saw before when we helped him. And because we helped him, sorry about that, because we helped him, we will get a unique cutscene when we go in there and start the level, and I'll show that to you in just a second. Over there, by the way, is the mushrooms. But we don't need to go over there. We already went there. And this here, right here, if you recognize this, this is the way from the Margaret, not Margaret, why do I keep saying Margaret? The Elizabeth mushroom to the Royal Wood. They just sort of switch things around. Even though the Artorias boss fight was down there, they put his grave over here, weirdly enough, which is a little bit strange. So after just a very quick cut, we're going to go in there. Okay, let's head in here. I really love the boss door to this place because it's unique. It's an actual door. It's not just a fog wall. You open it and it's just so special. It's great. And if you go in here, we don't see Sif anywhere. And let's just head over here and notice that is Sir Artorias' grave. And just look all around it. Look at all the swords. Presumably all the heroes that have come here trying to claim Artorias' legacy. And they were all defeated. And look how huge his grave is. It's sort of... Let's watch this. There are very few games that would ever make me go through all of this rigmarole just to get to the end, just for 10 seconds of story. And yet this game is definitely one of those. This, even without doing that, is one of the most important and heartbreaking moments in any video game I've ever been in, you know, because this enormous, proud wolf who has stood guard for 1,000 years over the grave of his master and is now forced to try to kill whoever comes to get him. And yet, Sif is intelligent and recognizes, if we summon him in the Manus boss fight, he recognizes that we are the same person that rescued him 1,000 years ago, because he recognizes your smell. And so he's saddened by the fact that he has to kill you because, you know, he has to do it. It's part of his word of honor, which is something that you really have to put into a medieval story and the medieval mindset when someone's word that they gave for something held much more importance than it does today. Nowadays, people give their word about things and don't think about it, but back then it was a much more serious thing. You had to, a vow really meant something back in those days, even if it wasn't always honored. You really broke something inside yourself if you refused to honor a commitment or a debt that you had to someone. And the fact that we have to break, that he has to break some happiness that he had with us, some greatness, some help that we gave him, and has to betray that in order not to betray his other master, Artorias, is just a nightmare. I mean, it really is horrifying for him. And just look at him now. Sif is limping now. This is making it even more heartbreaking. That now Sif is actually alive. He's not a zombie. He's a living creature that has just been around for 1,000 years. And I don't know how he grew to this size or lived for 1,000 years, but it's very, very sad. And the fact that we have to kill him is even more sad because we have to do it. We have to kill him in order to... Oh, look. Oh, my God. I've never seen that before. I've never seen him do that before. This is breaking my heart to do this, guys. He's just hopping along. He can barely move. This is so, so sad. Oh, it's killing me to do this, but well, it's killing him more so. And the fact that he fell over, I've never seen that before. I want to be entertaining. I don't want to make people burst out crying. Jeez, this is so sad. Oh, look how slow he is. We should put him out of his misery, to be honest. And that was one of the most heartbreaking moments in Soul's history. It was truly, truly sad. Let's go back here. Sorrow. Yeah, I'm going to rate that one up because we find Kieran's ring here, the Hornet ring.
Oh, it is thee. Thine kinsmen are betrayed by thee. This doth bode most badly. No rest will ease thy rotten soul whilst there is one clansman living. Forever tormented thou shalt be by our very howls. Hellish villain, thou hast used us most foully, thine own family. For thee, no mercy shall be shown.
Oh, there you are. Just so you know, Master Logan has left on his own again. It seems that he is still determined to find the famed regal archives in Londo. I intend to search for him. Only before I leave, there is one thing I wish to do. You see, Master Logan has left most of his books. With them, I could teach you Logan sorcery. You have done much to assist me. Before I leave on this journey, I will teach you all that Logan has to share. Oh, hello. You made it. Then let us begin. As promised, I shall bequeath Master Logan's sorcery to you. Oh, Master Logan is at the archives. Thank the heavens. Finally, his wish has been granted. I suppose he has his head buried in those tomes. That's always what made Master Logan happiest. Ah, I can just imagine him now. Two things are then. Goodbye then.
Okay, guys. Well, the reason that we had to go and kill Sif, and we had to do that in order to beat the game, is because doing that gives us... Where are you? The Covenant of Artorias. This ring symbolizes Knight Artorias' covenant with the beasts of the Abyss. Its wearer, like Artorias himself, can traverse the Abyss. Now that's a very scary thing that it says there, especially before you find out what happened in the DLC. It says he made a covenant with the creatures of the Abyss. Well, what the hell does that mean? A covenant with the creatures of the Abyss? I thought you went to fight the creatures of the Abyss. Did he make a deal with some of them to somehow protect himself or something like that? Or with some of the less evil ones somehow? I mean, are there less evil ones? I don't really know. But it's very strange that it says that, and a lot of people have assumed that when it says creatures of the Abyss, he means Kath, the evil, well, both of them are evil, but the more overtly evil of the primordial serpents next to King Secret Frampt, who's sort of more of a joke. Now, in order to fight the next boss, the final of the four Lord Souls, we need to go down here to the New Londo ruins. And the boss that we are going to fight is called the Four Kings, and there are indeed four of them. These four kings represent the kings of New Londo. The city here that we previously discussed was sunk beneath the ocean after the Abyss was spawned within it somehow, and began to cause its citizens to turn into dark wraiths and feed on one another's humanity, and just generally turn into evil bastards. And in order to find that, we've already pointed out this boss door in another video, but I'm just taking you on the route there. I thought of just cutting to the front of the door, but I decided not to. Just have to kill some dark wraiths along the way, nothing too serious. Although those ghosts can be a little bit annoying, especially if you're trying to run to this. Usually I don't bother killing the dark wraiths, I just run past them, because it usually takes quite a few trips to do this. It's a little bit dangerous not healing here and so forth. In fact, fuck it, I'm just gonna run. Just run through here. I just got so lazy, I just don't care. Go across this bridge, be careful of these ghosts here, because I believe they can hit you even if you're through the fog door sometimes, depending on the placement of the ghost. And we are in this strange circular stairway. And if we head down here, we will eventually come to a place that we can jump off. Now this next fight is extraordinarily difficult, and it is probably the one that I dread the most out of all the boss fights in the entire Souls series. The Four Kings is fought in a gigantic, black, empty room called the Abyss, and there's literally nothing in this room, no objects, but it's pitch dark. And even putting on anything with light on it is pointless because there's really nothing to see. It's just sort of a void down there. And the enemies, the kings, the 4 kings of New Londo, are large, ghost-like kingly figures, almost like the Barrow Wives or the Ring Wraiths. In fact, they look a lot like the Ring Wraiths from the Lord of the Rings movies. Except they're huge. They're like 3 times the size of a man. And they attack very quickly. They can shoot you with magic, and they have a magic attack that they can shoot at you that sort of explodes when it gets near you, and it has a homing capability to it. All in all, it is a very, very, very tough fight. I may need to alter my style a bit, maybe need to change my clothes a bit more. And the reason that it's called the 4 Kings is that you go down there and there's one, and one appears, and then the other 3 are immediately put on a time limit to spawn in. And the goal of the boss fight is to kill each one individually before a second one spawns, which ends up making the boss fight extremely difficult. So getting there is tough. Jumping down here means we have to sacrifice a ring slot, which is tough. In general, and if you jump down there without putting on the Covenant of Artorias, you'll die instantly. You can't fight it without wearing the ring. Fighting against potentially multiple enemies at once and having to fight multiple people is extraordinarily difficult. And all in all, it's just a really tough fight. One of the things that people tend to do sometimes when they go in there is to wear, if I have it, I don't believe I do, but the Forest Guardian armor, that green armor with a sort of moss on it, that's worn by the giant stone guys in Darkroot Garden. You can get their stuff in a chest right next to Alvina there. And if you wear all of that, you have very high poise and very high magic resistance, and these enemies strike you with magic attacks, and they can be very helpful against that. I'm going to run in there and just pray to God that I can do this and get the rolls right. This is another boss where the closer you are to danger, the farther you are from harm. If you get close to them, their sword strikes actually do less damage, and they're more likely to use a sword strike rather than hit you with magic. But let's just get this thing going. What you want to do is roll down here and immediately start running forward. See, it's really weird. Look at this. And we're just going to have to keep scanning all around us to make sure that we don't find one of the 4 kings. Where are you? There he is. He's coming right for us. Oh, good. Not terrible defense. Come on. 2. He also has a grab attack. And you know I love me some grab attacks. I mean, you know I just love that, right? Excellent. We got 1. We are running out of pyromancy, though. This is going to make this difficult. Where is the next one? It's making me dizzy looking around for this guy. Come on. There he is. Whoa! Right next to us. That's very unusual. Usually they spawn quite a bit away. You can try to get around to their back, just like any other normal enemy you'll be fighting. I think 1 more hit should do it. You see, that attack did very little damage, even though it hit me right on. And that's because I was so close to him. Okay. There's the next one. Come on, boy. I don't know why that miracle circle is there. That's a little weird. I don't know if I've ever spoken about these, but if you see these little circles around in the game every now and again, if you're playing online, that means that your faith spells, while next to it, will do extra damage. It's just not that important, so I never really bothered to talk about it. Uh-oh. Shit. Probably just should have blocked that. I don't know why I tried to roll through it. Come on. Ooh, this guy's getting real... Oh, he's using it. Oh, this attack. I hate this attack. Hope that attack doesn't one-shot me. Oh, no. Good. It didn't even hit me. Oh, there we go. That's the attack that has the homing ability on it that I was talking about. Come on. The other one spawned. Shit, come on. No! Ah, damn that homing spell. Okay, thank the Lord. Where's the other one? I saw him. There. There's one. And one of the jokes about this is that actually, if you're very, very slow, more than 4 of them will actually spawn. So there could be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 kings. This is a boss fight that is made exceptionally hard in New Game Plus, when the bosses do not have have way too much health. Ooh, shit. Am I going to be able to do this right? Yes! Oh. Oh, thank the Lord. Jesus, that fight was hard. And we have this bizarre bonfire here. And what you have to do to get Kath to appear right next to this bonfire is fight him before talking to Frampt. And that is very, very difficult and virtually impossible on your first playthrough. I mean, you would never do that, I think, on your first playthrough of the game. So I'm going to head back to Firelink Shrine and maybe take a look at that Hornet Ring, just to see in case it says anything. I didn't describe what the Hornet Ring was. We're getting so much stuff here. You know, it's taking so much... There's so much going on and so many things we're getting. And let's take a look at that Hornet Ring. I believe now we can go back to the Abyss if we want to, and we don't have to wear the Covenant of Artorias, and it will not hurt us. See, we have all 4 rings of the 4 Lords of Lordran. Not Lords. Knights of Gwyn. Okay. One of the special rings granted the 4 Knights of Gwyn. The Hornet Ring belonged to the Lord's Blade Kieran. By boosting critical attacks to where it can annihilate foes, adds Kieran's dagger laid waste to Gwyn's enemies. And that does just what it says. It makes your critical attacks higher, so backstabs and parries are much stronger than they normally would be. So that's a pretty cool ring. And let's take a look. I'll just put this here. See if this says anything interesting. Bequeathed Lord Soul Shard, soul of one of the 4 kings who fell to dark, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these 4 great leaders of New Londo and granted them their ranks in the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full soul, it can still satiate the Lord Vessel. That's weird. And this is another Bequeathed Lord Shard from Seath, soul of the albino Seath the Scaleless, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Seath allied with Lord Gwyn and turned upon the dragons, and for this was rewarded dukedom, yada yada yada. We already know that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. Now, I think what I'm going to do now is probably head back down and talk to Ingward again for a moment, just to see if he has anything to say now that we have defeated the 4 kings. The 4 kings are highly reminiscent, I think, of the, what are they called? The ring race, as I said. The kings of men who were granted power but were corrupted by it because of their weak natures. So I'm going to go talk to him, and I will see you in just a moment.
Magnificent. You defeated the 4 kings. Impressive, even for a bearer of the Lord Vessel. And with this, my purpose is exhausted. I have not seen the sun for a long time. Perhaps I could do with a change. And perhaps I could... Oh, hello. The sunlight made me wince, and now I've come back to this dark hole. So what brings you here? I will help you in any way I can. Oh, what?
Oh, hello. Why, of course I don't mind teaching you sorceries, but now that you've located Master Logan, I can't imagine that I can be of much help. 2 things are...
Well, tragically, that seems to be it for this episode, and we now have all 4 of the Lord's Souls, and we can go down and beat the final boss whenever we want. So, however, in the words of the great Liu Kang, wait a minute, there's another guy. There is another boss that we have not yet fought in Anor Londo that we're probably going to be taking care of, along with a few other things in that episode, before we start to go and fight the great Lord Gwyn. I also want to say that I am fucking pissed that bringing this guy here has done nothing. Nothing but this crummy little dialogue. Maybe if I go away and come back, then it'll change. I don't know. I have a feeling that it will not. Who knows? What kind of knife is he using there? That does not resemble any knife that I know of in the game. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, I will see you next time